The NHL rulebook is fascinating. There is literally a rule for any scenario you can think of. Even the most absurd, least likely thing to happen, you bet there's something in the rulebook that has it covered. Now, because the NHL has been around for over 100 years, there are definitely some rules still in there that are a little outdated when it comes to how today's game is played. Keeping that in mind, in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 5 most confusing NHL rules. The goalie's stick tape. Dallas Stars goaltender Anton Khudobin had to make an unplanned equipment change after his stick tape was found to be illegal. While players are allowed to use any color stick tape they want, goaltenders are a bit more restricted. Well, at least when it comes to their knob. NHL Rule 10.2 covers goalie sticks. In the case of a goaltender stick, there shall be a knob of white tape or some other protective material approved by the league. The knob must not be less than 1/2 of an inch thick at the top of the shaft. Failure to comply with this provision of the rule will result in the goaltender's stick being deemed unfit to play. The goaltender's stick must be changed without the application of a minor penalty. The Calgary Flames players reportedly notified the officials of Khudobin's violation, prompting a tape change for the Dallas netminder. Somehow, Khudobin was allowed to make only a minor modification with a band of white on the knob. So you might be asking yourself, why in the world is this a rule? Well, before video replay, the NHL would only use human beings as goal judges. They sat directly behind the net and worked in conjunction with the on-ice officials to determine whether a puck crossed the goal line or not. A black knob on the end of the goaltender stick could easily be mistaken as the puck. And when the rule was written years ago, players had 2 tape colors to choose from, black and white. By mandating goaltenders to use white tape, the NHL was lessening the chance of blown calls by their goal judges. The Florida Panthers versus the New Jersey Devils. Giving away 10,000 toy rats to fans as they arrived at the arena was supposed to be a promotion for the Florida Panthers. However, it turned out to be a huge problem instead. The Panthers were penalized twice in the third period because fans were throwing the rats onto the ice despite warnings not to do so. Now, New Jersey did not score on either of those power plays, but that was not enough to keep Panthers star at the time, Jaromir Jagr, from saying after the game that he was not pleased with the situation. "I don't really agree with the penalties," Jagr said. "We can always say, hey, it was New Jersey fans throwing them. We should have the power play. It's too important a game, and it's going to be more important in the playoffs. I don't think we should get 2 minutes for that. I think the league should do something about it." The Panthers' rat craze is a nod to the 1995-96 season when player Scott Mellanby killed a live rat with his stick in the locker room of the team's former arena before going out and scoring 2 goals. The toy rats started flying in celebration in the games that followed, and after that season, the NHL changed its rules to say that teams could be assessed minor penalties for such outbursts. Rule 63.4 states, "In the event that objects are thrown on the ice that interfere with the progress of the game, the referee shall blow the whistle and stop the play, and the puck shall be faced off at a face-off spot in the zone nearest to the spot where the play is stopped." When objects are thrown on the ice during a stoppage in play, including after the scoring of a goal, the referee shall announce over the public address system that any further occurrences will result in a bench minor penalty being assessed to the home team. Articles thrown onto the ice following a special occasion, for example a hat trick, will not result in a bench minor penalty being assessed. Illegal stick lengths. Now, we all know you cannot use an opponent's stick. That's against the rules. In most cases, you can use your teammate's stick, but possibly not if they're over 6'6". St. Louis Blues forward Vladimir Tarasenko was given a penalty for an illegal stick during a game against the Colorado Avalanche after he lost his stick and rejoined the play with one of the Blues' defensemen, Colton Parayko. Tarasenko used Parayko's stick in the play, but it was too long for him and he was given a penalty. The 6'6" Parayko plays with an oversized stick due to his height. That size of a stick is not legal for Tarasenko to use. Rule 10.3 in the rulebook allows a player to use a teammate's stick. A player who has lost or broken his stick may receive a replacement stick by having one handed to him from his own player's bench, by having one handed to him by a teammate on the ice, or by picking up his own unbroken stick or that of a teammate's from the ice. However, the actual stick in question has to be legal for the player using it. Rule 10.1 states, "No stick shall exceed 63 inches in length from the heel to the end of the shaft, no more than 12.5 inches from the heel to the end of the blade." Requests for an exception to the length of the shaft may be submitted in writing and must be approved by the league's hockey operations department prior to any such stick being approved for use. Only players 6'6" or more will be considered for exemption. Now, Pyarko has been granted an exemption by the league to play with an oversized stick. However, Tarasenko has not, which means he gets a penalty. Disagreeing with the referee. Fans know that there's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty in the books for abuse of the officials, one that referees can use to hand a minor penalty or even 10-minute misconduct to players who cross the line. But now, where exactly is that line? Luckily for us, the rulebook does offer an explanation as part of Rule 39, Abuse of Officials. And just so you know, it's a lot more strict than you might expect. Rule 39.2 lists various things a player could do to earn a penalty, and it covers most of what you'd expect to find. No profane language, no banging the boards with your stick, and no leaving the bench to argue a call. That's pretty standard stuff. But then there's Rule 39.2, which calls for a minor penalty against any player who challenges or disputes the ruling of an official. Yeah, that's right. So if you just disagree with the ref, that could be a penalty. According to the rulebook as written, players are supposed to get 2 minutes for unsportsmanlike conduct every single time they so much as dispute a call. But still, where is this line drawn? If you say, I didn't do it and challenge the ref, is that 2 minutes? If you shake your head saying there's no way that's a penalty, is that 2 minutes? Needless to say, the rule isn't called that way. Thank God for that. Today's referees have slightly thicker skin than the rulebook gives them credit for. But the next time you see a guy heading to the box while expressing even the slightest disagreement, remember that's technically a penalty. Goalies changing on the fly. Can goaltenders, like their teammates, hop on and off the ice to rejoin the action while the play is still going on? The short answer here is not always. While it won't come up in playoffs, there's a little known rule that applies to the regular season and prevents a goaltender who's been pulled for an extra attacker during overtime from re-entering the play on the fly. While it's hard to imagine a situation where it would make any sense to do that, the answer is that yes, it's technically allowed in the rulebook. And amazingly enough, it really has happened. When did it happen? Well, the 1992 Penguins decided to try a strategy that I don't think anyone before them or after them have ever tried. They decided to switch goalies every 5 minutes to keep both goalies fresh for the upcoming playoffs. What makes this even more bizarre is that it was legendary coach Scotty Bowman who was the brains behind this move. Thanks for watching our videos. Don't forget to hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.